let's take a trip to the Windy City. Not Chicago, Fuuto, for another Fuuto PI review.
I don't know why, but every time I hear the word Futo, at least like without the Japanese kind of like inflection on it when it's just you and me, it sounds like a dirty word for some reason.
Really?
I don't know why.
Yes, episode 4, we're starting a brand new arc. And something that I wanted to bring up to you, Brandon, now that you did have a chance to listen to a lot of the characters for you,
Hmm.
did anyone sound particularly familiar to you?
I can't.
Because there is a very famous
What's his
voice
name?
actor among
What's the main
them.
character's name again? Mr. Half Boiled?
Shotaro?
Shotaro sounds kind of familiar. Like the
Uh,
more I hear him, the more I feel like I've heard him before. Same with Philip. One of the two of them, I want to say.
um, I didn't really look at them much to see if they're famous, but there's somebody in the cast whose voice for One Piece, for Bleach, for Evangelion,
Uh huh.
the belt.
I didn't even consider that as a separate voice. I just figured it was somebody else doing it. That was like of the cast already.
No, like that is the only reoccurring voice actor, quote unquote, from the original series. Everybody else, I'm pretty sure, like everybody else moved along to other things, and now they got the current video game voice actor for Philip and Shotaro to be the voice on Fudo PI.
Hmm.
But Fumihiko Takachi is his name, and so I'm just surprised that they picked a famous voice actor even back in 2009 to be like, hey, do you want to be the official voice of this season's toy?
Okay.
I also heard he was in Sonic Colors doing the announcements for the powers in that game.
Never played it, couldn't tell you.
Apparently, with the inflection of the Double Driver.
Huh. I'd also like to point out, as is customary, I was tricked into this series.
Uh,
Somebody told me this was a detective series, and it still has yet to prove to be a detective series.
why? Why are
Someone
you.
told me noir, and this is most definitely not noir.
This is kind of noir.
No, noir is dark, depressing, and lonely. This is none of those.
I'm just skipping through the Philip and Shotaro's voice actor, and Shotaro really didn't jump out at uh Melgazard from One Punch Man. So
Okay.
uh
I think he
oh,
was one of Boros the Henchmen.
Shigaraki.
Shigaraki?
Yeah, from My Hero. Shotaro's
Wait, that was
voice.
Philip. Oh no, that's Shotaro. Okay.
Yeah, and Philip. Oh come on, is also in Boku no Hero as or Onigawara.
Onigawara? I forget who that is.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's in Mob Psycho. I saw that. Did I just mix up clicking the link? Oh, I'm sorry. The first one was Philip's voice actor. Shigaraki is Philip. The
I was gonna
um
say Shigaraki sounds a lot closer to Philip.
I'm sorry. I thought I clicked on the link to Shotaro first, then Philip, but I must have did it going up the page. But so they have some stuff there too. And out of the two actors, Philip's actor was a whole lot more successful than Shotaro's actor currently.
Oof. That's because he's half boiled.
but Shotaro does make occasional appearances, and this is according to Japanese Wikipedia, because like that has a lot more appearances than English Wikipedia. But it seems that Philip, I don't have his name pulled up here, but he's like lead roles, second billing on some stuff, while Soto's actors more bit parts and like one or two episode appearances on shows. So, being a guest on a lot of episodes or having a main role, what's actually better?
I'm not sure. It depends. Like, Philip being Shigaraki's pretty big, considering that's like a massive fundamental villain to that series.
Well, I'm talking about like their actual actor, not the voice actor that took over for them.
Yeah, then I'm not too sure which would be better.
Yeah. And so much so that I think they want, well, this was 2014, 2015, they wanted to get Philip's person back on board, but he was way too busy. But Shotaro's guy, he was in, I think he made like 3 other appearances as Shotaro, and it says like, oh, he's calling Philip, but you don't hear Philip, and it's like, oh, okay, Philip's ready, let's go.
They're trying to get creative, and I don't feel like that works.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to watch the show, but it doesn't sound like it would work well.
Yeah, so, new story arc, new case, new villain. This one involves death threats.
Yeah. Fun.
Noir.
Yep. We're gonna be bodyguards now. Noir.
For a game programmer.
We didn't know that at first. We did
Right.
not know she was a game programmer. She's the idol that represents the game. Because one, she's the best gamer on the platform, which, let's just point out, we find out, as you said, she's the lead programmer on this, so of course she's gonna know how to fucking cheat the system.
Yeah.
No shit, she's gonna be good. It wouldn't shock me if we find out that she's so good because she has dev shit included already in that.
Maybe?
Like she literally uses fucking dev hacks to win. Wouldn't shock me. Especially considering, our client last time was also a villain. Or, had a drive.
Yes. So you're saying she may be involved?
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it wouldn't shock me if she is using underhanded means to be as good as she is.
Oh, okay.
We also did see the fact that, like, she kind of has a dual personality going on.
Yeah.
Because she goes from being frantic and nervous and nerdy to being, like, super serious pop star mode.
Yeah, super confident.
When they get on stage, yeah. So I'm sitting there just like, wait a minute, hold up. Like, I have to sit back and wait for a second and just think. So not only was she able to, A, cosplay the character, which fine, whatever. Just about everybody could do that. She also is very good at singing and dancing, apparently, at the same time, as well as being good at the game. I'm saying you're throwing a lot of shit in here for a single character to be very good at, who has been, at first, shown to us to be this, like, shy, nerdy person that does not want to be in the spotlight, and in fact, claims she wants to quit.
Yeah.
But the corporation keeps forcing her to go.
And one thing about her design, and I know it's kind of a trope in anime for...
Speaking of her design, let me just add this little tidbit in quick. Within about, I don't know, 3 minutes before we suddenly see the transition there, I was like, wait a minute. She's the idol, isn't she? That's the only reason she would be here.
So you guessed she was the idol before it was revealed?
Yes. Because, like, it was right around the time he slapped down the lid on the laptop. And I'm like, wait a minute. Why the fuck is she even here? Makes no sense that your lead programmer would be here if your idol is the one that's going to be protected.
And I know it's a trope to have thick glasses that you can't see through on like
With the spirals and everything.
yeah, and I don't like that trope.
Think it works depending on the character. I will be honest, when I first saw her, I didn't think it was a girl. And that's just because the hair reminded me of Tai from Digimon, so I'm just
Oh
like, oh
yeah.
boy, cool. It's just like purple Tai hair.
And I found her to be a little bit cute, but my thought was if she would have more realistic glasses rather than like the huge thick frames, like that would be better for me.
This is where we find out that the idol personality is tsundere as hell.
God damn it, Fuuto. I have not seen this arc or anything following this, so I cannot say you're wrong or right.
We'll find out. He did call. What did she call him again? She called him something.
Maji P?
No. Shotaro, when he was like gawking at the idol.
Oh,
Something with a P. It wasn't pervert. It was something else.
oh, I thought like Maji P because his name was like Majuro.
No. She's talking to Shotaro. When Shotaro's gawking at the fucking girl.
Yeah,
like the cosplay girl.
I don't know what he called her.
Let's see. Can I find it?
Oh,
no.
I think we missed in the beginning that Tokumi and Philip really don't get along.
She calls him a pretentious jerk.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they're fighting because, Philip isn't exactly, careful with his words if the last arc wasn't anything to go by. Or was anything to go by. And as such, Tokime is like, oh, fuck you, I'm just a lab rat, huh? That's all I am? Something to be studied? Fuck off. And then, Philip is not able to salvage the situation, and it just gets worse.
Because Philip, being Philip, likes to analyze things.
Philip likes to understand things clearly, and obviously a mystery is something that sparks his interest.
And since Tokumi has lost memories, ooh, that's a big mystery.
Oh man, you can just see him drooling there thinking about it.
Now, when they said I don't want to say stalker, because, he's sending her death threats, signed M.
I mean, we've only seen one. Was it multiple?
No, the guy that sent the death threat signed it M.
Yeah, but you said, he's sending death threats, plural. Do we know that there's more than one before this?
I thought they brought up... I thought they said death threats, not a single one. But
yeah, but were they receiving letters prior to this? I don't remember them saying that was the case.
I don't remember either.
Which does make me wonder why it's suddenly a credible threat.
But it was signed M. Did you guess that the dopant began with an M?
I kind of figured that. Here's the fun part. Because this is where I get into speculation territory.
Okay.
Because look, here was my first thought when we got into this. We get to the stage area where things are gonna actually go down.
Uh-huh.
I'm sitting there Maji P isn't here. Is he the dopant and this is gonna turn into some publicity stunt?
I didn't want to theorize or toss out my theory that this early. I wanted to do it closer to the end of our episode review, but my thought was, I had two people. It is Maji P, and because he has some insurance policy or something akin to that on either her or his company, that if the idol would die or get injured and game sales would plummet, he would have a backup plan going I have contingency. I have a way to turn this in my favor. So maybe it's him. And later, when he corners her and says taste my blade, For a second, she's like, I know what that means, before she gets scared. So maybe it's someone she knows.
See, I don't know that I agree with that, at least not with the way that you're portraying it. Because the Maji P thing is taking quite a few leaps there with the whole insurance and how that would work as far as the company is concerned. I don't know.
Okay. What
Because
about.
anytime, as far as I know how insurance, granted, this is Japan. It could be fucking different. I don't know. But the way how I understand insurance work has nothing to do with the company. In fact, it would cause a way bigger mess because they'd be investigated for the death that happened on their fucking hours.
So what about the fact that she may know the person?
Well, we were told that the game she represents does start off as like a PvE thing where you gather your materials and shit and converts into a PvP match. And the way that this Dopont talked, it sounded like he was definitely a player of the game. Like, see how you do without your sword now and this and that. I'm assuming he's the second best player behind Megu here, and he hates her for it because he can't beat her in the game.
And he might say, "Taste my blade," in the
Yeah, in the
game.
game. Yeah,
So
because we don't know whether or not voices like can carry over in the game, or if it's just generic voice lines that they can pick from or have done. But yeah, it could literally be just that, right? Because I would assume that the first and second player, like best players in the game, have fought each other before, most likely numerous times. Now, that theory right there completely discounts Maji P because I would not consider him to be a player of the game at all.
right.
And it still leads to the mystery of where the fuck is he?
Hmm. So, what did you think of Shotaro and Keiko's reactions when they found out that Moizuki was Megu?
My first reaction was A, why are you people talking about this outside of the goddamn building where anyone can hear you? Because they just told you this is a massive secret and don't talk about it.
But
Uh,
their reactions were priceless.
see, we're kind of skipping over the part where like fucking Mizuki or whatever her name is gets a henshin forced on her.
A Sailor Moon style henshin.
Yeah, and my other thought was, oh, so these makeup artists had to literally be sitting there outside of the door just waiting to hear the snap. And nobody else knew about it, apparently? They're just there the whole time, every time, for this to happen?
Maybe?
Okay, you just pay these makeup artists to be on the spot at any point so you can just snap your fingers and do this.
Yeah, I guess.
Seems a little over the top for no reason. Especially when her identity's a secret.
Ooh, what if? And now this is discrediting my Taste My Blade theory, but which I am leaning towards as a possibility, but one that's more random is what if it's one of the makeup staff saying I should be Megu?
I mean, maybe, but we've also not seen any confirmation on whether or not Dopont's take on the physical form of the user. Like, if it's a female, shouldn't there be boobaroos there on that dragonfly?
Right.
Like with Road, it was kind of hard to tell because he had so much thick armor on. You could make an argument for either or, I think. But with this one, I would argue no. You would have that shape.
Yeah, and typically the voice carries over from Dopant. Like, if you're male, you would keep your male voice.
Yeah, but
So,
you've also got like a filter going over it, a couple of layers of it, at least.
mm, mm.
So, there's distortion in there.
Yeah, and it sounds clear enough that it's male. Oh,
Yeah, this
okay.
one does. Road, I think, still had a chance that it could be different, and I think they played that up because of Tokime.
Uh huh. Okay, I'm discrediting my member of her makeup staff, and I am switching to she knows the person. Maybe it's the number two gamer.
That's where my current theory is at.
Okay.
My current theory is it's the number 2 or someone very close to that. One of, like, I would say minimum top 5 best players. But I'm leaning toward the number 2 more than any of the others.
Okay.
It's just the one that would make the most sense.
Uh,
So yeah, Dragonfly Man's just sitting there on the roof, apparently. Nobody's, or on the ceiling. Nobody's paying attention. Nobody sees him for some reason. People don't look up. And the lighting staff clearly doesn't, walk around those catwalks at all or notice anything.
yeah. Either that or he, like, killed them all. But then you would notice bodies.
I was gonna say you'd notice bodies and blood.
Huh.
I'll also point out another fun little tidbit. I feel like they shoved some money into this one for the fucking song and dance rather than the fight.
Yeah.
That animation looked way better than anything else up until this point, and even after. And I'm just like, come on, this is where you put it? Into this song sequence that gets interrupted and doesn't finish? And we're all sitting there blue-balled the entire time? You didn't even get that good of a fight sequence. Like, where was the animation for the fight?
And what did you think of Mega ni Aura?
Mega ni Aura?
The dragonfly's actual.
Oh, the actual name of it, right? Gotcha. Sorry, I'm just calling it Dragonfly. I really don't. I'm never gonna remember the names.
Yeah.
Other than Road, because it's literally just Road.
Yeah, and we don't hear of Mega ni Aura anymore because that's an extinct species of dragonfly.
It's true. We just call him Dragonfly now.
Yeah, but
the design's all right, I guess.
And I just thought it was, as Philip was explaining, this was a 70-centimeter dragonfly. That's over 2 feet long.
Yeah, we had megafauna back then.
But just like mega-sized dragonfly, like, that would be a little bit creepy.
What do you think ruled the planet before, like, things came out of the water? We had massive plants, and bugs were massive. It wasn't until lizards and amphibians started making their way out of the water in, like, I want to say it was the Cambrian period or something like that. Those bugs started getting taken care of.
I think Philip said Paleozoic.
Might have been. I don't remember the exact ages right anymore. I remember Cambrian because there was a massive extinction at one point, but that might have been still, like, underwater levels of stuff. I don't know. It literally kind of looks like you took the giant dragonfly, cut it open, and then used its head as a helmet, and the rest of it's just draped over your back, really.
Okay.
That's kind of what the design looked like to me, so I wasn't overly impressed.
You thought Road looked cooler.
I think Road was more well-designed. This one feels a little bit phoned in.
Okay. Shotaro goes to distract him, and he gets pinned to a wall by some spikes of some kind.
Because of course we wouldn't go Kamen Rider right away. Why would we do that? We wouldn't have a show and he would have already taken out the villain.
Right. So he says, Tokumi, get the memory from my pocket. You're going to henshin with me?
I don't think she was quite so, I don't want to say embarrassed. Yes, that, yeah.
Yeah.
Quite so embarrassingly ecstatic about it. She seemed, I would say, more confused about, like, wait a minute, we can do that?
It's like, no, you idiot! I can only do it with Philip!
Which is disappointing. Just take Philip's belt off when it shows up and put it on Tokime. There you go, problem solved.
Yeah.
Also, I thought, unless I'm getting it messed up, but, like, when they were showing it off, I thought, Shotaro was the Joker.
He is.
Okay, so when they showed the hands, I just flipped them by, like, without realizing it in my head. All right.
Or maybe you got confused by the bit at the end.
No, it was, like, right before the henshin, and they showed both of their hands in the air holding their drives. And I think I just flipped...
Memory.
Yeah, because they only... Yeah, you can only tell by the backgrounds. You only see their fingers otherwise.
The memories.
Yeah, you see the memory, you see the background, like, very blurry, and you see their fingers holding it, and that's it. So yeah, in my brain, I must have flipped them and not realized it.
Because Aurora does pop up and give a quick synopsis on their 9 main forms.
Here's the things I know about him. Ha 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 ha. I must have studied him at some point or been told these things.
And he has two other forms that are in shadows now.
Yes, he has like 9 separate forms, 2 hidden forms, and apparently secret weapons that he talks about, which maybe refers to the forms or maybe something else completely.
I
I have no
I
idea.
think he was referring to the two extra ones.
Like I
Outside
said, I have no idea. Might be that Kamen Rider tank. I don't fucking know.
and I do know about the
Are
two.
hold on. Are
Yes.
we sure that Shotaro's charms aren't the other secret weapon?
Hmm. That might be. And I am familiar with the two shrouded forms, and I'm pretty sure they'll pop up sometime within this season. They've been used enough.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we got what, another 6 episodes yet at least? 8 episodes, I mean.
Yeah.
Uh so yeah, fight ensues. Magubi's unconscious because, shock of seeing a monster thing in real life. Uh Very disappointing fight that's not as fancy as the dance sequence animation. Very disappointed.
Philip says, okay, I've analyzed it. We need to go long range on this.
Recommended not to do close range combat with this thing.
So,
So cool. We're gonna go blue and just fire off the pistol. Also, I thought you told me that Joker was the one that tended to have the scarf, or was it Cyclone?
Cyclone always has the scarf.
Okay, for whatever reason, my brain was like, "Oh, Joker has the scarf." Nope, nope, apparently not.
A cyclone wind scarf blows in the wind, if that helps you think of things.
Maybe it'll stick. Who knows? Either way,
Yeah, so
uh,
go cyclone trigger, and the
apparently the dopant has some way of affecting like gravity. It seems like.
yeah, because the maximum drive trigger arrow burst, or am I?
I don't recall.
Yeah, but that one doesn't work, and yeah,
Which the
some
maximum drive is just taking out the what you call it,
the memory.
the memory and slapping it into the weapon.
Yeah,
Okay.
or in the case of the Joker memory, the hip thing. I forget what the like special slot on the hip is called, but for the metal shaft, it goes in the like middle. I wonder, or around the middle. The
Somewhere in there, yeah.
yeah, the trigger magnum, it goes in the middle. It locks the hanging part of the gun up and fires, and the Joker goes in the hip.
I should also point out, there's a point in here where Tokime starts like walking away for some reason. Also, other question.
Yes.
Uh, Suddenly the gravity wasn't affecting those three again at that point.
I'm I'm not 100% sure why.
I was gonna say because like you can't argue with me. The effect that shows that it's active is gone on them. So for
Yeah.
some reason, it's not affecting those three anymore.
Hmm. So, and Tokime, you also heard that like ringing, buzzing, whatever, right before Dragonfly showed up.
Yeah. So apparently there must be some. I'm assuming this is something Aurora is doing.
Hmm.
Though at the time, I don't know if he realized Tokime was with them. It might have been that he was just watching for the Kamen Rider or whatever, but then he finds Tokime is there.
Or maybe
Because
he's
whatever painful like thing in her ear that was going off has like not become painful anymore and becomes more hypnotic.
yeah. So she's like, I must follow the sound. It's coming from that building.
Well, yeah, like she gets the whole like vacant eye stare kind of thing going on, and she starts walking off, not really having much conscious thought as to like what's going on. Like it's kind of there, but it's like kind of floaty. Like she's not really understanding what's happening.
Because she's currently in charge of keeping Megu safe.
Yeah, because apparently the gravity is affecting Akiko, although now the gravity's not affecting her, so I don't know why Akiko can't handle it. Like, I don't know if that's an animation error, that's not there anymore, or what.
Yeah.
'Cause it kind of fucks up what they're trying to do story-wise with it not still affecting them.
So Double jumps in at the last second as Cyclone Metal, saving Megu because Dragonfly was just about to dive bomb her.
Yep, he screams at Tokime, who kind of snaps out of it, but is too far away to do anything.
Hmm.
And then, as you said, he drops himself in the way, takes the hit to the back.
Oh, I think we forgot to mention that he got stabbed.
He got, at minimum, he got punched. I don't know if he got stabbed the first time in the gut. I'm not 100% sure.
With the spikes, though.
Yeah, but it didn't look like it pierced anything.
Mm.
Like, his armor looks intact and everything from the front. Like, there's no issues there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Yeah, technically it would be a stab, but again, the armor is not damaged or anything, so I have to assume he's fine. Whereas when he gets jammed in the back, we never see it. So you can make the argument, like, we never see his back.
Mm-hmm.
For all we know, it's shredded. He keeps it hidden.
Yeah.
You know, after he gets a word in with everyone, de-hensions, I guess. And now, why Philip is completely unaware of this when he was fused, I have no idea.
Maybe since they're just linked mentally and not physically,
he has control over half of fucking Shotaro's body.
Right.
So why he isn't completely aware of this, I don't know. Because it wasn't like it was just Shotaro's side.
Right.
It was right down the middle.
Like
the middle part of the small of his back.
Yeah.
So again, why Philip wouldn't be completely aware that he's taken this kind of damage, I don't know. Because if they're linked mentally, right?
Yeah.
He should still feel the same pain Shotaro would feel from being hit.
Right.
So he should be completely aware, even while henshin, what is going on. So even when they de-henshin, even Shotaro says, yeah, I kept the belt on. Philip was real angry with me because, you know, he can still sense me when the belt's there and we can still kind of transfer thoughts. You know, it's like, he should have been aware the minute it happened how bad this was.
Yeah. So things are looking bad because Shotaro collapses with blood going everywhere.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a good look of the actual wound. We don't see it too good. Like, I think we see like half of it here. Yeah, it's like in like the very bottom corner of one of the scenes, and it's just a big X in his back. On the small of his back, and it is bleeding, but it's like, I don't know how severe it is. Because, I mean, he's able to just, like, walk around and talk to people, you know, even if only just.
Yeah.
And most likely it's just from the pain that he's, like, ready to pass out. Maybe not quite the actual, like, damage sustained. Because I would think that would look way worse if that was the case. But hey, I could be wrong. They might be taking some liberties, and maybe they'll make it look worse in the next episode when it's a thing they focus on.
Yeah. Oh, and Dragonfly or Mega Niora gets hit with a metal stag attack.
Yep, he gets propulsed back and disappears then. He gets away from to wherever he's going.
So
I have to assume he took some decent damage from, like, at least both of those hits.
And I have no idea what was talking about when he said, could he be a high dope? I'm like, what does that even mean?
He's high on the dope, man.
So maybe, is this like the next evolution of dope? I don't know.
I have to assume that's the case. My first assumption was like, not what he was doing wasn't gravity based, but was sound based.
Oh.
And that's what was like driving them to their knees, but like he was hitting some frequency with like the way his wings were waving. like
Oh.
vibrating at. That was my assumption of what he was doing. Whether or not that
Oh.
qualifies as like a high dope thing or not, assuming I'm correct, of course, I have no idea. Because to me, it
Oh.
seems like it's something he could totally do just as he is.
That is a good theory. Because, some insects and birds, like hummingbird, flap their wings so fast you can't see them. So
Mhm.
maybe he has, like, a hidden pair of wings
He's got
that,
at least four. I don't know if
yeah,
he's got a hidden pair.
but maybe that hidden pair is for, like, sound generation or something that
I mean, it could be. I was just assuming that the four we know about were vibrating at that new frequency that fucks with their heads.
maybe. Huh. Interesting theory.
Like, after I had watched it, my first thought was it was some kind of gravity ability, but then as I thought about it after finishing it, I'm like, wait a minute. Maybe it's frequency.
Hmm.
And that's causing issues with their brains. That said, depending on who's the one that's transformed, I'm curious how he would know that. Or if it was just something he happened to do by accident and was like, hey, this works. Because if this guy is some kind of like his day job is something to do with like sound, that would make sense as to why he'd be able to hit a frequency like that or know what frequency to hit.
Okay. Okay.
Hell, he might be part of the crew. He's the one that works on the mics and shit. Who knows?
Maybe.
Again, that's assuming that my frequency theory is correct.
Yeah,
I
but
might be completely wrong.
as of now, what theory are you going for? Are you going for it's the manager? It's like the number two gamer?
It's the number two. That's the one I'm holding on to right now. It's the one that makes the most sense with what we have to work with.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to also stick with that too.
I'm very curious where Magi P is, but it could just be like, I was stuck in traffic. Oh, yuck.
Why is he suddenly goofy?
I don't know. Because he's goofy. He snaps his fingers and forces girls to henshin. I don't know.
Uh,
He's over the top.
and seeing Aurora in more full body in the light now, and not just like the angle we had him on in the opening, he does look kind of cool.
Let's also point out, because we did kind of skip over his little piece in here a little bit.
Okay?
He ends up walking away after like mentioning the whole high dopon thing and being like, like once Tokime I think snaps out of it or whatever, he's like, you know what? Yeah, maybe I'll let you have your whole memory recovery time a little bit longer. We can meet up again later. So he's clearly aware that she has lost her memory now. That is
Yeah.
something that is now for sure confirmed if it wasn't before.
Mm-hmm.
So for all we know, he's the one that did it, or the fact that whoever broke the memory is the one that causes the memory loss.
I am still going with she was a part of his group.
Could be. I'm not saying no.
Uh,
Could be his daughter. They have similar hair.
yeah. Um, and the bonus scene at the end where they switch minds.
Yeah, we have a Freaky Friday moment, and I'm just sitting there like, this one wasn't the best. This was kind of the worst one so far.
And with a special appearance by the title character of the 1974 series, Kamen Rider X.
Maybe that makes it better. For those that know that, I didn't. So this definitely was the worst one so far.
I think it was half a joke about them crossing their arms to be an X rather than the W.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a good joke.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think, like, besides them catching the dopant and finding out who he is, I am going to guess that Philip was working on a phone for Tokime. That's what the pink.
Oh, you forgot about that. Yeah, he could have been.
That was a pink thing he may have been working on.
I completely forgot about him working on something there when they first started the argument.
Yeah, so maybe it's like, okay, fine, I'm sorry, here, now you have a phone too.
Yeah, because now you have a way to contact each other.
Yeah, yeah.
That was like the original problem. Because clearly it's Shotaro's fault because, he didn't tell her what was going on.
Right, right.
Otherwise, there would have never been an argument in the first place.
And the bat camera was flying around in the beginning a little bit.
Oh, was it a camera? I didn't recall that part.
I am pretty sure the bat is a camera.
Also, I should point out, they mentioned a thing for like these little memory gadgets that they've now introduced called a pseudo memory.
Yes.
So they can just make fake memories now.
That was from the original series that powered their memory gadgets.
So can they make a fake memory that would work as
Henshin device?
yeah, as part of the Henshin device? Obviously, I would assume it wouldn't be as powerful as it would normally be, but if for whatever reason they lost their other ones.
It was never shown in the series, so I don't know.
Or I guess the next thing would be like, could you have a pseudo memory power a Kamen Rider weapon for them? Or a vehicle?
Um, well, would you call the what was it? The stag phone. Yeah. Since the stag also has the pincer maximum drive, would you call that a weapon?
I mean, I was thinking more of like a handheld weapon, but I guess it could be.
Okay, okay.
It was enough to like deflect a Dopant like attack.
Yeah.
So it would stand to reason they could straight up create weapons with those then.
Maybe, maybe. If they had the plans from who initially built them, they could.
Well, I mean, clearly Philip's making a phone, so he has knowledge as to how to build at least something.
Yeah, yeah. So I could see them possibly making additional devices down the line if they needed to.
So when does Philip develop the heavy armor that he gets to wear later?
I don't get the reference.
I mean, I just kind of assumed he was going to get some kind of heavy armor equipment, kind of like what was the other one that we were watching? That wasn't Kamen Rider. Gridman, like Gridman.
Yeah.
He's gonna have one of those like animal things turned into armor for him.
Or
Henshin to his henshin.
or maybe he might become double.
Who would become double?
Philip.
Aren't they both double?
I meant like Philip as the body, Shotaro as the consciousness.
Ah, now I understand. I would assume it's because Philip isn't exactly physically fit.
Maybe, maybe.
I'm assuming he's more like the svelte scientist rather than like Shotaro who's just running everywhere and getting his cardio in.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so come back next time for more adventures in the Windy City.
I'm still disappointed.
I'm sorry.
How could you lie to me like that?
Wah, wah.